For decades, the default move in sales training has been the boot camp. You pull reps off the floor into a conference room, delivering a massive volume of information all at once. You book the flights, rent the venue, and rely on a high-energy trainer to run the room. It requires heavy budget allocation and serious logistical coordination. Everyone leaves fired up, but listen to their calls 3 weeks later, and they are struggling with the exact same objections and execution errors they made before the event. This chart shows the forgetting curve, based on the research of psychologist Herman Ebbinghaus. It maps the structural reason behind why these events fail to produce lasting change. Look at the immediate drop-off. Half of the newly acquired knowledge vanishes within the first 24 hours after the boot camp ends. Without active reinforcement, that decay continues. By day 7, up to 90% of what they learned is completely gone. Delivering short, continuous modular reinforcement flattens that drop-off. By revisiting the material in small doses, reps maintain a much higher level of recall over time. Sticking to the traditional classroom model consumes your travel budget, while guaranteeing that most of the new skills never make it onto a live call. This matrix evaluates the two enablement models across a few specific vectors, starting with contextual application. The classroom environment attempts to teach high-pressure tactics in a sterilized conference room, completely disconnected from live CRM data. That separation creates a severe learning-doing gap. Role-playing an objection with a friendly colleague feels entirely different from facing a skeptical VP on a cold call. Online platforms take a different operational approach. They utilize 5 to 15-minute digital lessons embedded directly within the rep's daily workflow. This enables a very tight feedback loop. A rep can review a specific objection handling module minutes before joining a live pipeline review, applying the tactic immediately. You do make a trade here. Clicking through a digital module at a desk removes the immersive, team bonding experience of a shared struggle in a live room. While online training sacrifices that interpersonal bonding, it drastically increases functional retention by closing the gap between learning a tactic and executing it under pressure. Scale and personalization introduce a different set of trade-off. Deploying live training across global offices is a logistical headache. Trainer fatigue and time zones inevitably alter the delivery quality from one location to the next. That variance creates messaging drift. A single corporate sales process can easily fracture into a dozen different regional interpretations, depending on who ran the live instruction. Online platforms, by design, guarantee absolute consistency. Every rep worldwide receives unified, identical messaging, regardless of their location. On an individual level, live classrooms are forced to pitch to the average attendee. This simultaneously bores seasoned veterans with the basics, while overwhelming new hires with advanced concepts. Digital platforms solve this using adaptive learning technology. The software uses assessment data to tailor curriculums to specific role tenures. If a veteran rep aces a prospecting assessment, the system automatically skips the basics and jumps straight to advanced negotiation modules. This yields a consistent, appropriately challenging experience for thousands of reps at once, though you trade away the human flair of a live session. Operational cost and pipeline impact are where the financial realities of these models starkly diverge. Beyond the hard costs of travel and venue hire, there is an invisible compounding cost to a live event. You have to quantify the time a standard 20-person team spends in a 2-day boot camp. That equals 40 entire person days of completely halted pipeline generation. Digital platforms require 0 off-floor travel time. Modules can be completed in the gaps between scheduled calls, keeping your reps productive. Digital content also provides long-term financial efficiency. Once a module is created, it can be reused indefinitely for onboarding and methodology updates over a 3 to 5 year horizon. The way you track ROI is different too. Software generates rich correlative performance data, whereas a live event typically leaves you with an untrackable attendance sheet. Live training generates significant, untracked opportunity costs. Digital platforms turn training into a measurable, compounding operational asset. The classroom has value, but as a primary vehicle for skill development, it has been permanently demoted. This decision tree shows how to allocate your enablement budget based on your primary organizational goal. If the primary goal is tactical skill acquisition or rolling out a new global process, you choose an online adaptive platform. For an enterprise VP, trackable data and guaranteed consistency at scale are non-negotiable commercial requirements. You need to ensure uniform execution. For a mid-market manager, closing specific execution gaps requires continuous application in the flow of work. Only modular software provides that immediate relevance. If the primary goal is cultural alignment and team building, you need a live classroom event. Bringing on a new cohort of early career SDRs or merging the cultures of two recently integrated companies strictly requires a shared physical environment. Sales relies on relationships. The human connection formed through shared experiences simply cannot be replicated by an algorithm. Stop paying for expensive conference rooms to teach mechanical tactics. Save the live, high-cost events for building culture, and let digital platforms handle the science of selling.